Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today, we're gonna start a new series of operating system. So today's topic is operating system, its type, and its functions. I hope you will definitely enjoy this video. So without any further delay, let's get started. Now the first question that arises in every user mind is that what is operating system? So an operating system is a program that acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware and control the execution of all kinds of program. Let's discuss this definition with this help of diagram. So in this diagram, you can see that at the above level, there is a user 1, user 2 and many users up to n, and there is a middle layer that is called operating system or the software layer, which act as an interface between the hardware, that means CPU, RAM, and the input-output device. So, an operating system acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware that shows in the diagram. Now, the second question that arises in the mind that why you use operating system. An operating system is most important software that run on a computer. It manages the computer's memory and process as well as all of its software and hardware. It also allows you to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer language. Without an operating system, a computer is useless. It is just like a box which has no use. So in the diagram that's shown below, there is a computer software and there is a computer hardware, and the operating system act as an interface between these of two. If the operating system is not there, so your system is just like a box. You know that. Next thing is types of operating system. Operating systems are they're from the very first computer generation and they keep evolving with time. We will discuss some of the important types of operating system which are most commonly used. These are given below. Batch operating system, time sharing operating system, distributed operating system, embedded operating system, real-time operating system, network operating system, and the last one is mobile operating system. Let's discuss each of them one by one to understand better. Now the first operating system is batch operating system. The uses of a batch operating system do not interact with the computer directly. Each user prepare his job on an offline device like punch card and submit it to the computer operator. To speed up processing, jobs with a similar need are batched together and run as a group. The program must leaves the programs with the operator, and the operator then sorts the program with a similar requirement into batches. The problem with batch system are as follows: lack of interaction between the user and the job. CPU is often idle because the speed of the mechanical input-output device is slower than the CPU, and difficult to provide the desired priority. Here is the diagram of batch operating system. Here is the jobs, job 1, job 2 up to job n. In between there is an operating system, and the similar types of jobs are collected into the batches, and then these batches are passes through the CPU, and then the task has been completed. Now the next one is a time sharing operating system. A time sharing operating system allows multiple users to share computers simultaneously. Each actions or order at a time, the shared system becomes smaller, so only a little CPU time is required for each user. As the system rapidly switches from one user to another, each user is given the impression that the entire computer system is dedicated to its use, although it is being shared among multiple users. Here is the diagram that shows the time-sharing operating system. Here is the CPU as the centralized, and there are different processes: process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4, and process 5. Uh, the CPU can share its time with a little time span with process 1, process 2, process 3 up to process 5. Uh, s- this time sharing is done so frequently that the user cannot find that user can only think that their work are done rapidly. Next one is distributed operating system. A distributed operating system is a recent advancement in the technology world of computers. Furthermore, they are being accepted all over the world. As one of the main advantages, characteristics of these systems are they are that they provide great pace. DOS is a system which contain multiple components located on the different machines which coordinates and communicate actions in order to appear as a single coherent working system to the user. A distributed operating system are systems which model where distributed applications are running or multiple computers linked by communication. Processors in a DOS communicate with each other, that is called IPC, that means inter-process communication. Here is the diagram of distributed operating system. Next one is embedded operating system. An embedded operating system is a specialized operating system designed to perform a specific task for a device that is not a computer. An embedded operating system's main job is to run the code that allows the device to do its job. The embedded operating system also makes the device hardware accessible to the software that is running on top of the operating system. An embedded system is a computer that support a machine example including computer in cars, traffic lights, digital television, ATMs, airplane control, points of sales, terminals, digital cameras, GPS, navigation system, elevators, digital media receivers, and smart meters, among many other possibilities. Here is the diagram of embedded operating system, and the next one is real-time operating system. A real-time system is defined as the data processing system in which the time interval required to process and respond to input is so small that it controls the environment. The time taken by the system to respond to an input and display of required updated information is termed as the response time. So in this method, the response time is very less as compared to online processing. Real-time systems are used when there are rigid time requirements on the operation of a processor or the flow of data, and real-time system can be used as a control device in a dedicated application. A real-time operating system must have well-defined fixed time constraint, otherwise the system will fail. For example, scientific experiments, medical imaging system, industrial control system, weapon system, robots, air traffic control system, etc. There are two types of real-time operating system: hard real-time system. Hard real-time system guaranteed that critical tasks complete on time. It's hard in hard real-time system, secondary storage is limited or missing, and the data is stored in ROM. In these systems, virtual memory is almost never found. Soft real-time system. Soft real-time system are less restrictive A critical real-time task gets priority over other tasks and retains the priority until it's complete. Soft real-time systems have limited utility than hard real-time systems. For example, multimedia, virtual reality, advanced scientific projects like undersea exploration and planetary revolves, etc. This is the block diagram of real-time operating system. In the bottom layer there is a hardware, and in the hardware upper layer is a real-time operating system, and over that application program, and over that user. Next one is network operating system. Network operating system runs on a server and gives the server the capability to manage data, uses, groups, security, application, and other networking functions. The basic purpose of a network operating system is to allow shared file and printer access among multiple computers in a network, typically a local area network, a private network, or the other networks. Some examples of network operating system including Microsoft Windows Server 2003, Microsoft Windows Server 2008, Unix, Linux, Mac operating system 10, Naval NetWare, and BSD. This is the example of network operating system. Please note this example. Next one is mobile operating system. A mobile operating system is an operating system that helps to run other application software on mobile devices. It is the same kind of software as the famous computer operating systems like Linux and Windows, but now they are light and simple to some extent. The operating system found on smartphone including Symbian's operating system, iPhone operating system, RIM's BlackBerry, Windows Media, Palm Web OS Android, and Memo Android Web Operating System, and Miomo are all derived from Linux. The iPhone's operating system originated from BSD and NextStep, which are related to Unix. It combines the beauty of computer and hand-use device. It typically contains a cellular built-in model and SIM tray to telephony and internet connection. If you buy a mobile, the manufacturer company choose the operating system for that specific device. These are some examples of my mobile operating system. These are Android, BlackBerry, Windows Mobile, Symbian's operating system, and Apple. Now we have to discuss the functions of operating system. These are the various functions of operating system. These are given below: process management, memory management, file management, device management, input-output system management, secondary storage management, security, command interpretation, networking, job accounting, and the last one is communication management. Let's discuss these all the functions each one by one in detail. So here is the diagram of various functions of operating system. Just keep the note of this diagram. Now the number one is process management. Process management helps operating system to create and delete processes. It also provides mechanism for synchronizing and communicating among processes. Second one is memory management. Memory management module performs the task of allocating and deallocating of memory space to programs in need of this resource. Third one is file management. It manages all the files related activities such as organization, storage, retrieval, naming, sharing, and protecting of files. The fourth one is device management. Device management keeps track of all device. This module also responsible for this task is known as the input-output controller. It also performs the task of allocation and deallocation of the devices. Fifth one is input-output system management. One of the main objectives of any operating system is to hide the peculiarities of that hardware device from the user. Secondary storage management. 6.1. Systems have several levels of storage which includes primary storage, secondary storage and cache storage. Instructions and data must be stored in primary storage and or cache so that the running program can be referenced it. Seventh one is security. Security module protects the data and information of a computer system against malware threat and authorized access. Eighth one is command interpretation. This module is interpreting commands given by the and acting system resources to process that commands. Ninth one is networking. A distributed system is a group of processors which do not share memory, hardware device or a clock. The processors communicate with one another through the network. Next one is job accounting, keeping track of time and resources used by various jobs and users. And the 11th one is communication management, coordinate and assignment of compiler interpreters and another software resources of the various users of computer systems. So friends, that's all for today's topic. If you are new to our YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for upcoming videos. Till then, stay tuned with us. Thank you.